last time the Minnesota Twins were in first place was 1987. That year, they were the world champions. Led by the power of Kent Herbeck, this grand slam came in the World Series, and the White Yankees in Minnesota were out and waving. In addition to their great hitting, they had Frank Viola. They had an outstanding defense. And they, of course, had Kirby Puckett. He's still here, but since then, it's been down for the Minnesota Twins. Everything has gone wrong. Their young pitchers did not produce. They had to make some changes. People like Roy Smith are gone. But the people now here are producing. Erickson looks like he's a Cy Young Award winner. Rick Aguilera, second only to Eckersley in saves, and Jack Morris is back on the mound. Al Newman says it's fun playing here. Herbeck's still hitting home runs, and Kirby Puckett is still here. And the Minnesota Twins are in first place. Many people thought it would be when they first started playing here 10 years ago, but it is the home of the #1 team in baseball right now, the Minnesota Twins. And on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, they take on the Toronto Blue Jays. As of May 27, the Twins were 7.5 games behind the Texas Rangers. Since then, they have put together an incredible 24-3 run. As a result, the Minnesota Twins not only in first place in the West, but that is the best record in Major League Baseball. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell, and welcome to ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball here at the Metrodome. And tonight, Dave, when we talk about the Twins, we'll surprise some people because we're going to talk about pitching.
Well, the Twins were a terrible pitching team a year ago. 11th in earned run average. 1991, what a turnaround, though. 3.51 the earned run average. Scott Erickson and Jack Morris between them have won 20 games in a row. They have been on a roll. Rick Aguilera has been great coming out of the bullpen. He has 20 saves. They're just doing it with pitching, with defense, and with good hitting as well.
Not only do we see one team in first place, we're going to see two, because the Toronto Blue Jays are also on top, even though they lost last night here. Boston and Roger Clemens also lost, so Toronto remains a game and a half up. But for Toronto, an interesting season, especially the end, Dave. They are the swing team in the league.
Because there's 7 teams in each division in the American League, once every 7 years, you have to play out of your division the last month of the season. Right now, the Jays are on a string of 30 consecutive games against the West, which has been much tougher this year. And they also finished the season with 23 games against the Western Division. So Toronto, with 58% of their games remaining against the West, has their work cut out for them.
Is on a streak at the plate right now. Switch hitter will lead it off in center field. Alomar not only scoring runs, but driving them in. Talking about driving in runs, tied for the home run lead. Joe Carter in right field. Kelly Gruber back in, just his 32nd game of the season. Pat Tabler, he'll be the DH, right-handed batter. Making the start at first, his first start there, Ed Sprague. Pat Borders, right-handed hitter, he'll do the catching tonight. Shortstop, batting 8th, Manuel Lee. And in left field, batting 9th, Glenn Allen Hill.
Going for the Twins tonight, left-hander Mark Guthrie. If they've had a weak link in their pitching staff, it's been Guthrie, although he's 4-1 since the month of April. He has allowed a lot of base runners per 9 innings. You see 90 base runners in 52 innings. One of the best things Guthrie has going for him is perhaps the best move in baseball. Last year, he picked off 13 men that could slow down the Toronto running game, which was going rampant against Jack Morris last night. Brian Harper, not a great thrower, but a terrific offensive player, is behind the plate. He's been released by 3 different clubs, and yet he's hitting .340 this year. Greg Gagne has played 42 consecutive games without an error. Chuck Knobloch has really filled a hole at second base. Gene Larkin spills Kent Herbeck at first. Herbeck with an injured shoulder, and Scott Leyes in the platoon with Mike Pagliarulo at third. Kirby Puckett back in center field. He was going to play right and Shane Mack center, but Mack is in right and Dan Gladden in left.
TK, Tom Kelly, the skipper of the Twins, and somebody the players have a tremendous amount of respect for, as we'll tell you about as we roll along here tonight. He simply exudes confidence in his team, understands the game, obviously, and knows how to push the right buttons for the Minnesota Twins. And they said that even when they were losing, it worked out that way. This year, they are winning, primarily because of pitching. Cito Gaston right there, standing up in the corner of the Toronto Blue Jays. he is one of the many managers this season that's had to struggle through a lot of injuries on his club.
Really has. He's a very calm, collected man, and in today's game that seems to work real well.
All right, we are ready to go. Last night these two teams met for the first time this season. Last year the series was won by the Toronto Blue Jays 9-3. Last night Minnesota won 8-6. Guthrie's ready, and the left-hander's delivery to Devon White is in there for a strike. This Minnesota team is on a tremendous run. Toronto knows that. Toronto knows they need to get some victories, try and put some distance between themselves and the Red Sox. Well, that's what's on the line here tonight.
White doing much better from the right side of the plate, hitting .330 against left-handed pitching so far this year. There you see the numbers. Guthrie started him off with a curve, then threw him a forkball. You've seen two of his three pitches. The other one is a fastball that he tries to sink away.
He is a ground ball pitcher as he bounces that one. It's one of the reasons he has trouble here pitching in the Dome. He is only 1-3 here while he's gone 4-0 on the road. What they try to do to help him here is in front of home plate where the dirt is, they try and loosen it up as much as possible when he's on the mound. Right there. They rake it, they dig it, they loosen it up so that the ground balls will start out slowly when they are hit in front of home plate. Talking with Kelly about that before the game tonight. And the breaking ball misses away. He's still not happy with it. The ground screw doesn't have much to work with. There's only 2 inches of dirt before you hit padding and then cement. So what the ground screw can do to help the home team here, as is true on most artificial surfaces, is not a whole lot. And White lashes that one to left center field. Gladden and Puckett on the chase. That'll hop up over the wall, and a ground rule double for Devon White, who's 10 for his last 23.
White, one of the leaders in the American League in 2-base hits. He does it by gappers, also sometimes turns singles into doubles. That time bounces one over the fence. Guthrie threw a breaking ball that did not get much movement on it, and Devon White starts out with a double. Be alive for him somewhere in the sequence, if it calls for it, to try to steal third. They won't steal second very often against Guthrie, but maybe third, and White goes down after a slider and nails it to the alley.
That's double number 20 on the season. He is 5th in the league in doubles. And there he goes, and no throw will be made, as Harper could not get up and get around Alomar to make the throw. So right away the running Jays have a stolen base.
Mark Guthrie has a terrific move to first base, but when runners are at second, he has a very slow delivery to the plate, and the Jays did not take long. The scouting report was good. Devon White never hesitated.
17 steals for White, in scoring position for Alomar now. Cito Gaston told me before the game, I said, how has your team made the transition from all those home runs and big hitters to a season where you rely more on running? He says, that's all we do. It doesn't matter what the situation is. We will run ahead, run behind, run early, and run late.
They lost 351 total bases in the transition. Players lost, player gained. Tell you about it in a second.
Alomar will get the run in towards left center field again, and that's in the gap. Kirby Puckett back to get it. Alomar's on his way to second base. Alomar's making the turn. He'll try for 3. The relay throw is not in time. A sliding triple for Roberto Alomar. White scores, and it's 1-0 Jays.
Robbie Alomar came in leading the American League in 2-base hits. That puts him 3rd in triples. The Jays doing it with gappers. Kirby Puckett hustled it up, but Alomar got a good jump. He's got good speed, and the Jays have the hitting shoes on against Mark Guthrie. He cannot afford to make mistakes in the strike zone, and he's made 2. The Jays have not missed him. And again, it's a slider that he leaves out over the plate without much downward movement on it.
And he was easily in at third base. And Kelly's got to be concerned right now because Guthrie is a ground ball pitcher. And the first 2 batters, White and Alomar, put it in the gap in left center field. Now Joe Carter, who can put it over the gap. Here's the American League Player of the Week right here. Joe Carter tied for the lead in home runs. We've got them both here tonight. He and Chili Davis both have 17 home runs to lead the league. And he's simply red hot right now, doing exactly what the Jays had hoped he would do when they acquired him this offseason. Guthrie's delivery to him, and that one's down and away. That's where he's got to keep the baseball to be effective. He's got to work the ball down and away. Carl Willis is already up in the bullpen, so Kelly is very much concerned about Guthrie's start. Carl Willis, long reliever. That one's shot to left field. Gladden will not have a play on that. Off the wall. Second run will score. And another extra base hit. Carter's in with a double and an RBI. The first three batters. A double, a triple, a double, and it's 2-0.
Now, we told you about the 351 bases, total bases that the Jays lost. They have 7 so far in 3 at-bats. And they are just tattooing Mark Guthrie. Teams came in hitting .316 against Guthrie, so he is not a stub pitcher. He has to have the good location. They lost George Bell, Fred McGriff, Tony Fernandez, and Junior Felix. They got Carter, Alomar, and Pat Tapper, but the net result, they lost 351 total bases, so they had to make it up by advancing runners, stealing, and hitting gappers, and that's exactly what the Toronto Blue Jays are doing right now, and Dick Such, the pitching coach, is going to have a chat.
Roberto Alomar scores his 39th run of the season, while Dick Such, the pitching coach, is out. Let's check in with John Saunders.
Cubs and Pirates game, and Greg Maddux is having similar problems with the Pirates here. The high pitch is tomahawked by Barry Bonds. 2-run home run, number 10 on the year. That tied the game in 3 apiece, but the Pirates weren't done. With 2 aboard, Jose lead. This is a 3-run shot, and out to left center field, puts them up 6-3. The Pirates with the lead in the 4th. Back to Gary and Dave.
John will keep us posted on the activity tonight with a runner on at second base in Joe Carter, who delivered the RBI. Carter's now up to 52 runs batted in. That is 4th best in the league. He's at second base with Kelly Gruber at the plate. And an off-speed pitch for a strike.
What's Jose Lean doing out there in deep left center field? That's not his home run territory. Mercy.
A team that's not been hitting, they find a surprise in a surprise spot. Jose Lean's going to drive the ball deep. Guthrie, and that one's to right field. That one is playable. Shane Mack will haul it in. Throw to third. Good one. Cut off, not in time. So Carter moves up in the fly ball out. Kelly Gruber retired. That's the first out here in the top half of the first inning. Runner at third base, Joe Carter.
Just to give you an idea how the makeup of this team has changed. Last year, the Toronto Blue Jays gave up the fewest outs in the major leagues to advanced runners. By that, I mean sacrifice bunts and men caught stealing. This year, they are amongst the leaders. They're number 2 in sacrifice bunts. They've got some caught stealings, but they're number 2 in stolen bases. Totally different looking team. Only Pat Borders and Kelly Gruber playing in the same spots that they played last year, the tandem of Borders and Myers, the catchers.
All these right-handed batters coming up against Mark Guthrie, the left-hander. And Pat Tabler down to third. Lewis makes the play, and there are 2 down with the runner holding. So Tabler retired.
Jack Morris survived a 5-run inning last night. Mark Guthrie, if he could get an out here, Ed Sprague, who's coming in 0 for 10, at least would keep his club in it in the early going. And the way the Twins have been hitting, 2 runs, certainly not that much to overcome, although they are facing David Wells, a good-looking left-hander tonight for the Jays.
He gets out of here after this tattooing and just giving up 2 runs. He's in the ball game. Sprague's got an 0 for 10 going right now. Guthrie will try and make it 0 for 11 and get the 3rd out right here if he could do it. It is ironic in the case of Mark Guthrie. He allowed just 6 first-inning runs in 21 starts last year, but now with the 2 runs here in the first inning, he has given up 12 first-inning runs in 12 starts. It's just the opposite as far as the beginning of ball games for him. Seemingly now needs to get an inning under his belt to settle in. See the offensive numbers for Sprague. One of the reasons he's making his first start at first base tonight. He had been filling in for Kelly Gruber at third base when Gruber was out. Now with Gruber back, they want to keep that bat in there. So Sprague with numbers that keep rising as the situations get tougher. 2-0 lead. 3 hits. Carter's on at third base, and there are 2 down. Guthrie gets the ball chopped foul, holds the count at a ball of 2 strikes.
Carter trying to get Guthrie either to the balk or at least lose concentration. Scott Leyes, the third baseman, playing way back. Sure wouldn't be a real smart play of Joe Carter to try to steal home with 2 strikes in the hitter, but he does have Guthrie thinking about him a little bit.
1-2 delivery again toward short. I think Gagne's got it, and Guthrie does get out of the inning. Just giving up the 2 runs. He gave them up on 3 hard hits by the first 3 batters up. but just 2-0. Minnesota came home, another victory last night, 11 in a row at home. Dan Gladden, the veteran, leads it off. He'll be in left field. Chuck Knobloch, what a job he's doing at second base and at the plate. Kirby Puckett, all kinds of offensive leader numbers in center field. The designated hitter, home run leader tied, Chili Davis. Behind the plate, one of the best hitting catchers in baseball, Brian Harper. In right field, Shane Mack, right-handed hitter. First base, Gene Larkin, the switch hitter. Third base, another rookie, Scott Leyes, getting it done at the plate. And the shortstop struggling with the bat right now, Greg Gagne.
28-year-old left-hander David Wells out of San Diego, California. You see his numbers. 4 out of his last 5 starts. He has gone at least 8 innings. David Wells has only allowed 96 runners for 90 1/3 innings. That's a tremendous ratio. That compared to Guthrie is totally upside down. So David Wells pitches for the Jays tonight. Pat Borders will do the catching. Pat's had a tough year offensively with only 5 extra base hits, but he and Greg Myers divide duty. Taking the Jays infield, Roberto Alomar. Only 7 errors so far this year. He'll make some errors because of his acrobatic work. He's leading the All-Star balloting in the American League. And in the outfield, Joe Carter has been swinging between left and right throughout a man last night. Joe Carter trying to make the American League All-Star team for the first time, folks. 545 RBIs in the last 5 years and has not made an All-Star team.
Well, the Minnesota Twins have been used to being on top. They have scored a lot of first runs. In fact, they've been 33-5 when they've been able to get on the board first. This is going to be a game where if they're going to win it, they're going to have to come from behind. Dan Gladden will be leading it off. See his numbers on the season for the center fielder who can bunt to get on. He'll take the pitch up high.
Gladden's start mirrored the Twins' start this year. Minnesota started 2-9. Dan Gladden began the year 1 for 31. He's come around, and the Twins have really come around.
Their numbers right now, the 24-3 run they've had, is just incredible. They are doing it on the road and at home. They had an 8-2 road trip. They had a 10-0 homestand before they went on the road, then came home last night and won again. They're getting magnificent pitching both home and away. Morris, Erickson, a couple of guys who are fantastic and getting that kind of support. A .304 batting average at home. Foul back by Gladden.
Erickson has won 12 in a row. Morris 8. That's 20-0 out of your first 2 starters. That's how you put together a streak like that. There have only been 2 streaks as long as what the Minnesota Twins 15 in a row and the Texas Rangers 14 in a row. There's only been 2 streaks that long since 1906 in the American League. So it has been the year of the streak in the American League West.
Everybody's had the opportunity. Now the Twins are trying to make it consistent. Shallow right field. Alomar, second baseman, will call for it, and that'll retire Gladden. One away here in the first inning. Minnesota Twins here at home last season finished up 41-40. They are already 24-12 at home this season. So they're on their way to a record-breaking year and a record-breaking month. In fact, Minnesota's won a chance to lose just a couple of games in the month of June if they don't lose any more.
Talking about turnarounds, Twins finishing last in the American League West last year, and in the month of June 1990 they went 7-21. This year they're 21-2.
21-2. Chuck Knobloch against the lefty. Off the fist. That's going to fall in. Yes, base hit. Lee could not handle that. So Knobloch knuckles another one in. And this rookie continues to jam it, batting over .316 against left-handers. There's the first hit for the Twins. Terwilliger at first base will take the gloves. And the first base runner's on with one away.
The center fielder, Kirby.
And here's Kirby Puckett. The big numbers again there for him. He is 4th in the league in batting with that .327 batting average. On base percentage just out of the top 10. He's picking up the extra base hits, leading this ball club, and he is as exciting to watch as anyone in the game right now.
Although I feel our crack graphics crew probably has his numbers against left-handed pitching this year, which is slightly phenomenal. First against left-handed batter pitching, he is hitting .483 against southpaws, .352 in his career.
12-game hit streak for him. Ball gets by Pat Borders. Knobloch down to second base. David Wells bouncing that one. That'll be a wild pitch, putting a runner in scoring position.
Wells fastball, curveball, great changeup. Throws the fastball in the dirt. Gets past Pat Borders, and the Twins would like to get at least one back here after the Jays jumped them for 2 in the top of the first.
That is the 20th wild pitch recorded by the staff of the Toronto Blue Jays this season. Wells now has 3, and Puckett's got an RBI opportunity and a 2-0 count, and now a 3-0 count.
Kirby Puckett has hit 5 of his 9 home runs in the first inning. You see what his numbers are against David Wells. I think if my guys hit 5 of his 9 in the first inning, I might green light him right here. See what Tom Kelly has in mind.
He's a .350 lifetime hitter here in the Dome. He will take that one and will draw the walk. We got an opportunity for a big offensive night, John Saunders.
Speaking of big offense, here's a former Blue Jay, Fred McGriff, against Scott Scudder, who hit a home run of his own just a while ago. McGriff, number 15 on the year, with a runner aboard, 2-run shot, gets San Diego aboard. 4-2 now is the score in the 4th inning. Let's take it back to Gary and Dave and see what transpires in the next one.
There is Cito Gaston, who knows when your ball club as hot as Minnesota, there is no such thing as a safe lead if you are the opposition. His club is up 2-0 right now, but those 2 runs potentially on base right there. Knobloch at second base, Puckett at first, and here is Chili Davis, who we told you is sharing the home run lead with Joe Carter with those 17 and a big 48 RBIs, which is 7th in the league in runs batted in. And Davis, first ball hitting, fouls it back. 6 of Chili's home runs have come off left-handers this season. A rejuvenated Chili Davis. He has bounced around trying to find a home, and he loves it here.
Kirby Puckett went out and solicited Chili Davis this winter. A lot of phone calls said, Chili, we need you. And Chili wanted to hear that because nobody was really after him. Chili lost 25 pounds in the offseason and is having a terrific year.
2 on, 1 out. Great breaking ball by David Wells.
Good-looking curveball from David Wells. Bottom falls out of this one. The Twins do not strike out much. Only 307 coming in, by far the lowest in the American League. But Chili has about 1/5 of all those strikeouts. He's near the 60 mark.
He is one of those free swingers with all those home runs. And Wells comes inside on him. Gave him one to look at. A ball, 2 strikes with 1 away. David Wells last season had an outstanding 11-6 record with an ERA of 3.14, 7th best in the league. He is now 9th best in the league with an ERA of 2.99 coming into this game and an 8-4 mark. But Chili Davis tattoos him lifetime. Not this time. Davis is now 7 for 17 against Wells, and there are 2 down.
Number 12, the catcher, Brian.
Talk about the difference in the break of the ball. Watch the dip on David Wells' curveball, bottom falling out of it, as opposed to Mark Guthrie's. His slider and curveball were kind of rolling up there in the first inning, and the Jays hitters were tattooing him in the alley.
Rich Garcia working behind the plate. Steve Palermo at first. Mike Riley at second. Larry Young is at third. The umpiring crew for tonight's game. Ball 1 taken by Brian Harper. May be the most underrated hitter in all of baseball. That is not a fluke. 340 batting average. 2 on, 2 down. And a Scroogey that goes the other way. 1-1. Harper last season finished with a .294 average, .315 against the left-handers. The year before that, he played at 101 games and hit .325. This is a legitimate high average hitter. Oh, my gosh. Oh, what a breaking ball.
I think David Wells has got the old Steve Carlton hard slider going down. It's Wells's curveball, but it's acting like that quick slider of Steve Carlton's, and the right-handed hitters are not picking up the spin on the ball. I don't know how many times I swung at that pitch, and a lot of other guys did in the National League when Steve Carlton was throwing that dive bomb slider down and in.
That was one right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harper gets that one to center. Devon White. That'll do it. So they get a couple on base, but do not get them home. We've completed 1 here in Minneapolis. Jays are up. Friends had a story in the newspaper today about fans coming out to the ballpark, not in great numbers yet. They are down their average attendance from last season, and one writer took a shot at them saying they didn't make enough noise. Last night in particular, Borders at the plate. When they came out today, a number of the fans tried to give the team a standing ovation, but it didn't go over very well. There were pockets that stood up. They want to wait and see if this is for real. Why not with a team that finished 29 games out of first place last season in last place?
Yeah, but how many do you have to win in a row before you get some support? I mean, there's 5,000 a game below last year. They averaged 22,000 last year, 17,000 so far this year. But I have a feeling it may pick up.
Well, they've got a sellout coming on Saturday. They're going to have a huge crowd here, probably over 48,000 on Saturday here at the Dome. And a very good crowd on hand here tonight, in fact. Good place to be. It is steaming outdoors here. Swung on and missed by Borders. Let's see if Guthrie can settle down now. Giving up 2 doubles and a triple in that first inning.
We had Arlington, Texas weather in Minneapolis, 95 and windy today.
Humidity was up about 90%. Tried to time that. Didn't get all of it. He was out in front of it. Puckett in center field will haul it in, and Borders is retired. 1 away here in the second inning. Kirby roaming center field lane.
Both these pitchers got off to rocky starts this year, but have pitched very, very well since. David Wells has taken over. Dave Steve down. Steve expected back perhaps after the All-Star break. Shoulder better, but now has a sciatic nerve problem in his back.
Manuel Lee. Switch hitter. He's had 5 hits in his last 14 at-bats to get his average up. Number 8 in the lineup, and Guthrie catches the outside corner. 1-1.
When you want to know how the new shortstop is doing, you talk to the pitching coach, and he says Manuel Lee has been brilliant.
That's going to be trouble. Mack. It stayed in the air. There are 2 down. Guthrie still getting fly ball outs. Got a couple of ground ball outs in the first inning. Now 2 more fly balls here in the second. That's not his norm. Would indicate he's probably getting that ball up in the strike zone a little bit.
Shane Mack started in, makes a quick retreat.
Ball will carry here, especially tonight as it is close, warm, even inside. Glenn Allen Hill, number 9 hitter. Talking with Tom Kelly about that before the game tonight, the Minnesota manager, about when the ball carries well here, because it was last night. He says when it is warm, when it's had time to warm up inside, even when the air conditioning is on during the day, if it's warm, the ball really flies out of here. They keep it cooler, it's cooled down, and it tends not to. So he says, I try and build a pitching staff that has some fly ball pitchers in it, because this is not a home run ballpark, contrary to the name it was given. It was called the Homer Dome when it first opened. That's not the case. The increase in home runs here, only about 0.04% over the past 5 years, compared to home runs in other ballparks by all the teams in the American League. So it is not a home run hitter's yard in particular. It's a fair park. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 down, nobody on. A 2-0 Jays lead. One of the reasons he's in the lineup tonight against the lefty, Guthrie. Swings it off, 3-2. The dimensions here at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome: 343 down to left, 385 in a hurry. That center, it's a long shot, 408. 367 that power alley, and then the short porch. The third, that is a fair ball. That'll roll into foul territory. Dan Gladden will chase it down. Glenn Allen Hill is on his way to second base, and he's got a stand-up double. Well, we still don't have a single in this game for Toronto. 4 hits, 3 doubles, and a triple.
Getting a pretty good read on why the Toronto Blue Jays are leading the American League in 2 base hits. They find the alleys, the line, and they have great team speed. I mentioned one of the reasons Glenn Allen Hill in there because of his good hitting against lefties, and in particular Mark Guthrie. He's now 6 for 11 against Guthrie, and don't think managers don't look at those same charts we get to see.
Leadoff batter Devon White doubled and scored, and also stole a base his first time up. He has Glenn Allen Hill now on at second base with 2 down. That would indicate he hit some hard ground balls. Chops that one though to short. Greg Gagney's got it over to first. Scooped out, and that'll do it. No runs, a double. Base runner left on at second base, and Guthrie does settle in a bit. Tame, a team which right now leads the majors with a .278 batting average. Shane Mack at the plate takes it for a strike. They are leading in hits, total bases, slugging percentage, second in the league in triples starting the game, third in on-base percentage. They have always had the hits. As we said in the open, what they were missing here in Minnesota was the pitching. Now they have got that.
Amazing thing about the Twins of 1991, there is not one pitcher left from the 1987 World Champion. Frank Viola, Bert Blyleven, and Jeff Reardon were the featured performers on that staff.
That one bounced by Wells. Talking with Kelly again before the game, he says, I think we have the 10 best pitchers available to us right now here. The question came as regards David West, a left-hander who's working his way in rehab at AAA, not putting up particularly good numbers. Kelly does not want to move any of these people, said he might want an 11th pitcher at some point, but not right now. Wells stays away, 2-2.
Twins bullpen, the reason that question was asked, does not have a left-hander. They are all right-handed down there. Some people feel, hey, there's certain times when you have to have a left-hander to come in out and get out a key left-handed batter.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Wells' delivery is taken up high. And Dave, when I asked Kelly about that, he said, right now we don't need it. He says, I got pitchers who can get right and left-handers out, so I'll stay that way. But you're right. He also said, but later on, and I think that's what he was talking about, that 11th pitcher perhaps down the line would be a left-hander. Broken bat, shortstop Lee. The barrel ends up to the second base side of short. Almost went as far as the ball did. Mack retired.
Shane Mack has a sweep-type swing. You don't want to make a mistake out over the plate to him. You got to throw him hard stuff in. Wells got the ball in and shattered the bat on Shane Mack, but he's got a very long stroke. And you see he just shatters the bat. Manny Lee, good concentration, though, because that bat's flying out towards him. He sees the ball, and he keeps the eyes on the baseball.
Jade Larkin, another switch hitter. He's looking for his first hit against David Wells. Lifetime, he is 0 for 7 against him. 250 right-handed, 317 left. That's to Devon White. And that'll be hauled in, and there are 2 down. John.
Budweiser takes us now to Fenway Park in Boston. Mark Gardner in the third facing Steve Sachs. Right back up the middle over the mound. Alvaro Espinosa comes in to score. Kelly ends up on second. Meanwhile, Mike Greenwell's 17-game hitting streak has been extended. Now it's 3-0 in the 6th. Back to Gary and Dave.
Kinds of hitting streaks going on. Georgia Puckett has 12-game hit streak. Harper has a 13 in this game. 2 down, nobody on. A 2-0 lead for the Jays. Bottom half of the second inning. Scott Lay is up.
I know after seeing you play shortstop in Pittsburgh, that youngster wasn't punching out your name for shortstop in the National League.
You don't know that. Could have been a write-in. 0-1 the count. He knows anything about baseball, he isn't. Layes came up last season after 4 years of minor league baseball. Hit .240 in 14 games from Yonkers, New York. Lives in Mamaroneck, New York. A 13th round pick in '86. Played at Concordia College in New York. It's college baseball. And is getting a shot at it here. Playing at third, even though he is a shortstop.
He's just trying to duck the issue. My partner's like George Plimpton, folks. He's of the baseball set. He's never met a field. He didn't want to go out and take some ground balls, throw a little batting practice, get a couple cuts in.
You know, that's true. And you know what I can't understand? You guys who played the game, you played the game, Major League level. I don't know how you could not want to go out and play catch, take ground balls, throw a little BP. Do you still enjoy that?
No, because I stunk then and I'd still stink.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the difference. See, I do too, but it doesn't matter. The 2-2 is chopped towards short. Lee's got it. And Wells sets the side down in order. So he settles in, and after 2-0 Jays. Bats are coming back. Roberto Alomar had a triple and scored in the first inning for Toronto. RBIs by Alomar and Carter in that inning. Guthrie keeping it down and away. Fall behind on the count here on Alomar. Guthrie has given up 3 doubles, triple, hasn't walked anybody nor struck out anyone. Way out in front of that one. Pulls it foul. And a ball and 2 strikes. This is one of the best leadoff hitters in baseball, who's taken up the number 2 spot for the Toronto Blue Jays. And aptly so. He's getting the job done.
Great bunter. Can take pitches, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, has the ability to hit the ball to the right side, whether he's hitting left-handed or right-handed. So he does a good job of protecting Devon White when he gets on and finds a way to advance runners.
San Diego last season, he hit .364 from the leadoff spot, ended up with a .287 overall average. 3-2 delivery to him, just protecting the plate.
I don't know how the trade will eventually turn out, but it made a lot more sense for the Toronto Blue Jays because they had Manuel Lee waiting in the wings at shortstop and John Olerud at first base. So they plugged in an outfield spot in second base, where the Padres, they had a hole at shortstop and at first base. They plugged that, but they created holes in the outfield and at second base.
Left fielder Dan Gladden. 3-2 fly ball will be the first out here in the 3rd inning as Alomar is retired. 1 down. We thank the nice people here in Minneapolis. Got a couple of real nice signs up. Both of them have 17 home runs, so somebody's painted the bullseye.
They're happy to see us.
We're happy to be here, and I mean that. Number one, I love this city, but I also love to see this ball club. First chance I've had this season to see the Twins play.
How do we let the Twins on the Oakland A's television network?
That's right. It's Mark McGuire's favorite term. You guys are here again? Carter with a double and an RBI. Watches that one by Guthrie bounce. We're talking about the home run leaders. There they be. Chili Davis adding to it. And not far behind, Canseco, Henderson, Cecil, Kell. And that's pulled foul. He's just tearing at the baseball right now.
I do suspect that the Twins keep this up, though. We're going to see a bunch more of them.
Certainly so. Kelly couldn't be happier. Just playing it, as they say, day at a time. Off the fist to left center field. Puckett, Gladden, Gagne all there. Nobody's going to get it. Puckett plays it high. It'll be a big hop double. And Carter's 2 for 2. 2 doubles in this game. He's on with 1 away here in the 3rd inning.
Don't know if we'll have a chance to see it, but Kirby took the fatal wrong first step. He took 1 step back, and that's what separated him from getting to that baseball. If he takes the first step in, that makes up 2 steps. He would have gotten there. Oops, Kirby's trying to reverse now and come back in. Too late. Got to play Carter deep, and sometimes that ball goes airborne. You don't get a great read on it. You give the hitter credit for having the kind of power that Carter does.
Carter at second base for Gruber. That one's bounced. With that double now by Carter and the 2 in the game, he's picked up 23 on the season, ties him for first place with Alomar, his teammate, for the lead in the league in doubles. There they are getting production. And here's the guy they haven't had in. Kelly Gruber out with a couple of injuries. Major thumb injury. Kept him out for half the season. 1-0 pitch to him. Swung on and missed. He had a ligament sprain and a chipped fracture in his right thumb. He got back into action, and the first game back of baseball hit the top of his right index finger. And he had to be taken out of the game and was the designated hitter for a couple of games.
Kelly's my man, though. He won the Superstars competition, the first baseball player to do that. Of course, we all know that the baseball players are the best athletes. Just took him a while to prove it. Kelly won that last year.
Why is your nose growing like that, eh?
Well, some baseball players are great athletes.
He certainly is. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 away. And he fouls off Guthrie's high delivery. 2-0 lead for the Jays, who have 5 hits in the game now off Guthrie, who gives up a lot of base hits.
We're taking a lot of look at the NBA draft choices on our screen tonight, but one of the amazing things, basketball players always look devastatingly quick going to the basket, but yet basketball players, when you take them out and run them in a 100-meter dash, are usually finished last, but they have great quickness for about 3 steps.
Quickness and speed, 2 different things. Quickness in basketball, all you need are those 3 steps. Something else I didn't have. Kelly Gruber takes it inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Couldn't jump, couldn't hit, couldn't field, couldn't get the curveball over, but you went to law school.
That's right. That's where all those kind of people go. Play basketball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck, Pat Tabler. Guthrie has given up 24 walks in 55 innings pitched while striking out 39. He does very little of either. 3-2 delivery. He'll do one right there. So Gruber is on, and there are runners at first and second base with 1 away for Pat Tabler.
Not a bad pitch by Guthrie. He had an open base. Tabler has not been hitting well against left-handed pitching, only about 140. He was hitting 141 coming in. Guthrie in a position now where he can get the double play ball, but he didn't give in to Kelly Gruber, who had 31 homers a year ago.
2 on. Tabler. For Toronto this season, they are 11-9 against left-handed starters, but a very strong team batting average, 272 against left-handers. Shortstop out of position, strike taken. Gagne had gone over for a daylight play at second base, and he was there when Guthrie threw to the plate.
Well, again, the Minnesota Twins know the Jays are going to try to steal third base on Guthrie because of his slow delivery to the plate. Gagne that time got caught. Guthrie should have stepped off the mound, but he delivered to the plate instead.
Carter has picked up 11 stolen bases, 11 for 17. They're trying to hold him very close, both the shortstop and second baseman. Tabler takes it down low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
1987, Carter, a member of the 30-30 club. Just another reason why I wonder why that man has never made the All-Star team. If he doesn't make it this year, folks, turn in your ballots.
At least he'll be selected. Tabler with a 1-1. First base. Larkin backing up. Fair territory. Infield. Fly rule is called, and there are 2 down. Tabler retired. Runners stay at second and first.
Kind of hard to figure how 1 year a guy will hit left-handers well, the next year not. Tabler struggling so hard. A year ago, Joe Carter hit 197 against left-handed pitching. Starting tonight, he was at 378, and he's 2 for 2. So can't always figure it out. Numbers, something to talk about. Sometimes if they happen over a long period of time, they establish a definite trend.
Thank goodness they don't always hold up, or there'd be no reason to play the game, Joe.
Good point. Mela did.
Jays leading 2-0. 2 down, 2 on. Guthrie will step off. Ed Sprague waiting at the plate. RBI opportunity for him. See the numbers, and they are very strong. 3 years of minor league baseball, 2 of them at AAA. Played some college baseball at Stanford University. Sprague towards second base. Gobbled up. Nola makes a nice play. So Sprague now 0 for 12. Those are the kind that don't go through when you're struggling. It remains a Blue Jays lead.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Sherwin-Williams. There's only one paint that's good and only one place you can get it. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Great to have you with us here at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Toronto leading 2-0. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell. And the first pitch foul back. Greg Gagne, first time at the plate, number 9 hitter, who is 0 for 9 against David Wells' lifetime. And really struggling. 3 hits in his last 36 at-bats for this veteran, who hit .235 last season. Inside to it.
He has not let it affect the defense. So 42 consecutive games without an error, and he has played magnificent defense during this great run by the Twins. So he's able to separate the offense from the defense, and that's what the great pros do.
He had an 0 for 4 last night, and the players were telling me before the game, they told him it was good as 4 for 4, the way he played defense. See what he's done here. Better with the bases empty, leading it off situation he's in right now as he leads off this bottom half of the 3rd inning. But the players can't say enough about his leadership on the field, as Dave was talking about, all those errorless games. Pops this one up. See who wants it. Alomar, the second baseman. And Gagne is 0 for 10 against Wells. And there's one away here in the 3rd inning. The Dome in Minneapolis, where the Twins are winners of 44 games. 24 out of their last 27 they have won, including a victory last night 8-6. This is game 2 of this 3-game series. We're happy to have you with us and a chance to see the Twins. One away, nobody on, and Dan Gladden, who popped out his first time up.
Saw Robbie Alomar talking to Sprague there about looking up at the ceiling here. You cannot take your eye off the ball in the Dome stadiums and find it again. Shane Mack was talking about that. Shane Mack, a great outfielder with the Olympic team in '84, and when he was with the Padres, Mack was the type of guy who would see the ball hit, want to run to a spot with his head down, look back up and find it. He said you can't do that here in the Dome.
A lot of room by the dugouts. Not enough for that one, though. It'll end up in the seats.
It was always one of the great things I loved about certain outfielders. Jimmy Pearsall, Don DiMaggio, Paul Blair. They'd see a ball hit, and they just take off with their head down, run to a spot, and look back up, and the ball would be right there. Just like they had radar.
See those seams? They are open. There's an outside cover, and then there's a space between there. There was once a ball hit up in that seam area that got caught. It never came down. And only Dave Kingman could do that. He put a ball right up there in one of those seams. They didn't know what to call it, so they have the Kingman now ground rule. It is a double. But right up there at the roof over the shortstop hole. That one's popped up. It's not going to reach the seam. Borders kept his eye on it, and Gladden has popped out twice, and there are 2 down. Speakers here also hang out over the field and lead to some interesting ground rules.
I don't know the exact ground rule here at the Metrodome, Gary, you might, but at the Kingdome in Seattle, if the speaker is in fair territory, then the ball is in play.
Same thing. If it hits a speaker in foul territory and is caught before it hits the field, it's an out. And there's the famous
glad bag. The baggie in right field, folks.
Knobloch up. That's what that is. All that blue there, the solid blue, is just a plastic. The ball's in play if it hits there. If it hits above it, where those seats are rolled back, it is a home run. And if you're a broadcaster and the ball goes out there, most of the time you don't have a clue if it's near the top, which it is, because they all bounce back onto the field. 2 down, nobody on. Knobloch takes the pitch in for a strike. 2-1, 2-0 lead for the Jays, bottom of the 3rd.
Watched Knobloch last night for the first time. David Wells getting ready to work for him. And Chuck, he reminds me a lot of a young Marty Barrett.
Barrett used to play second. Alomar's there now. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning, and that's 8 in a row retired now by David Wells. Getting it in the first inning with their first 3 batters hacking away at it. As White doubled, Alomar tripled, and Carter doubled. The RBIs to Alomar and Carter. Pat Borders leading it off here as you have the line over the first 3. Guthrie has walked 1 and struck out none, while David Wells has a strikeout and a walk. And Guthrie's pitch will miss low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Borders, Lee, and Hill, the bottom 3rd of the Toronto order. Toronto had won 5 games in a row before the 8-6 loss here last night. They're not exactly cold. Now there you see that bounce off that dirt in front of home plate, what we were talking about earlier. They get Borders. You keep that dirt loose in front of home plate. When that ball starts out like that, it will slow down.
Just the opposite of Dodger Stadium. They keep it harder than the Ventura Freeway.
Suck my
Let's see how this ball comes out. Splatter a little dirt there. That takes a little bit of the overspin off the ball. Knobloch able to handle the ball easily.
As Kelly said, it's what he likes the ground crew to do when he's got a ground ball pitcher like Guthrie on the mound. Hacked foul. Look out. Lee flied out his first time up.
Nifty job of cleaning the plate by Richie Garcia. Came up and said, I don't have to bend over. Just kick the dirt off.
And Lee again hacking away, fouls that one off, caught in the bullpen, and it's an 0-2 count. That's a tough way to make a catch.
Don't lose that ice. It's hot in here tonight.
Both these pitchers tonight going right at it. Guthrie and Wells getting the ball back and putting it back in the strike zone. That's why you've got the hitters going after the first 1 or 2 pitches, because they're there. Guthrie 2 wins, no losses, and 3 no decisions in his last 5 starts. And he's got it. That's his first strikeout. An inside corner pitch not agreed with by Lee. 2 down.
Well, we have not had a chance to see the fabled Mark Guthrie move to first base. He has given up 5 hits tonight, and they've been 4 doubles and a triple. Nobody on first. What does Manuel Lee think of this one? Well, I'll tell you what, folks. Too close to take. Watch that catcher's glove. It was borderline, but when you have 2 strikes, you better hack.
2 down, nobody on. Glenn Allen Hill. A double in the second inning. 6 for 11 with 1 home run lifetime off Guthrie now. Pretty good average. Some guys just chew you up. I was talking with Chili Davis before the game about that. Chili Davis is one of the few hitters who could just lace Dwight Gooden. He had like a 500 average in the National League against Doc Gooden. Gooden had no explanation. Neither did Davis. He saw the ball well off it. And another base hit. Hill sees it off Guthrie. There is the first single given up by Guthrie in the game, and Hill's 2 for 2, and the numbers are holding up.
Well, it's definitely a running situation. Glenn Allen Hill has great speed. Figure the worst case scenario is he gets thrown out. You got Devon White leading off the next inning. Remember, Guthrie has a great move to first. See if we play a little cat and mouse here.
You said, Cito said, he'll run at any point in the ball game. So as Dave says, he's in that opportunity right here. Hill has picked up a couple of stolen bases, 2 for 4. 2 down. White doubled in the first and scored. Runner not going, taken down low.
You ever notice certain managers wear jackets even when it's 85 and 90 degrees?
You know why I think he's got that jacket on down there? That's right in the tunnel that leads up the long flight of stairs into the locker room where Cito's standing. The air conditioning runs right down those stairs, and if the managers stay by the tunnel entrance, it's fairly cool.
That's one opinion.
All right.
Opinion number 2 is a great many managers suffer from Dunlap disease, where their stomach has Dunlapped over their belt. And they covered up real good with that jacket.
A couple of sizes larger than they might otherwise need. You said that. I take option number 1. To center field. Hit well. Puckett back. Warning track. 400. Off the base of the wall. Making the turn. Glenn Allen Hill. He will score. On his way to third is Devon White. A stand-up triple over 400 feet away. 3-0 Blue Jays.
All of us who have watched ESPN over the years have just reveled in the great catches Kirby Puckett has made running back towards that fence. But that's the second time he's gotten a bad read on a ball. This time he takes a false step in. And this ball normally is caught by Puckett. But Devon White doesn't have the great power. And Kirby just can't get back there. We've seen him go up over that baggie and make the catch. But that one false step has cost Puckett twice tonight. That time he took a step in.
So Kirby, he's shaking his head because he knows a good jump and he makes the catch. That is the 4th triple for White this season. He's 2 for 3 in the game. Picks up the RBI. Devon White getting his 29th run batted in, and it's a 3-0 game, and that's a big 2-out hit right there that scores Glenn Allen Hill, who creates the inning by getting the 2-out single.
Scott Leyes in even with a bag, because Alomar, even with 2 outs, has been known to dump a drag bunt in this situation.
Takes the pitch away. 2 balls, no strikes, and 2 down. Guthrie coming into this game, the opposition hitting .316 against him, and it doesn't matter whether it's right or left. Alomar breaking ball is there in the outside corner. Left-handers hitting .314 off Guthrie, and right-handers .360. Very high numbers. Yet he's 5-3. 2-1 delivery. 3-1. Waiting on deck is Carter. He doesn't want to put Alomar on to face Carter. 3-1 pitch. Fastball. He challenged him with a 3-2.
Robbie's numbers over his career have been a little better left-handed. You can tie him up inside when he's batting from the right side of the plate, and that time Guthrie got the ball in the inner half of the plate.
Switch hitter, triple and RBI in the first. 3-2, and he took it, and that is the second walk given up by Guthrie. He's hurting himself here. Runners on now at first and third with 2 down, and it will bring up Carter. And we're going to get some time drawn for the bullpen here, as for the second time Dick Such, the pitching coach, is on his way out to the mound, and the pen again is active. All right, let's check in with John Saunders. John.
Cubs and the Pirates, some bad blood tonight. Bobby Bonilla thought he was tossed inside on. Wilkins was hit after a second home run in 2 games, and George Bell grounds out. But you know George, he's not done. On his way back to the dugout, some words for Bob Walk. The bench is clear. They come running in from the bullpens. Cottier trying to separate things. Pittsburgh still leads at 6-5. Not much after that. Let's take it back right now to Gary and Dave in Minneapolis.
What are we, in the dog days of August already?
Well, we're seeing a lot of that, aren't we? The league president and commissioner's office not very happy with a lot of that. Coming down pretty heavy. Third base, Devon White. Alomar's on at first. There are 2 down, and Carter's up. He's 2 for 2, 2 doubles and an RBI. And up high for a ball. There's an opportunity to do some real damage to Guthrie. In fact, big hit here might take him out of the game. He's already given up 3 runs on 7 hits. Not a big lead for Alomar. He's not going to take the bat out of Carter's hands by running, and that's why. That's going to be a base hit. Gladden will get it. Not before Devon White scores. Stopping at second base is Alomar, and Carter's having another big night. He's 3 for 3 and 2 RBIs, and it's 4-0 Jays.
Well, Guthrie has made a lot of mistakes tonight. But right now there's a guy standing in center field who's won 4 Gold Gloves in this league named Kirby Puckett. It really knows in his own mind that Guthrie should have been out of the inning. And instead, Guthrie is going to be out of the game.
Boy, look at the numbers for Carter. Talk about heating up. 359 batting average is now up even higher. He's moved up into 3rd place in RBIs in the league. With the 2 he has tonight, he's now 53 on the season, and with that base hit, he has taken Mark Guthrie out of the game. A very short start for the left-hander. 3 2/3 innings for Mark Guthrie, giving up 8 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, 4 runs off him, and responsible for 2 base runners who are on.
Look up the word journeyman in the dictionary and you see Carl Willis's picture. He has been with Detroit, Cincinnati, the White Sox, the Indians organization. Career in the major leagues 2-6 with a 5.90 earned run average. Just 64 games starting this season. He's been around. He's asked to come in and put out the fire here against the Jays.
And Kelly Gruber with runners on at first and second. And 2 down. Gruber walked his last time up. Slide out in the first inning. Chance to do more damage right here. That middle of the order up. Kelly Gruber batting in the cleanup spot. Bounced. Nice stop made by Harper to hold the base runners. Alomar at second and Carter at first.
See if Roberto feels he can get a jump. There's 2 outs, so you're not as likely to try to steal third as you would be with 1 out trying to get over there to score on a sacrifice fly. Nice play by Brian Harper to at least keep the ball in front of him. But if Willis doesn't pay any attention, Alomar will be off and running.
24 stolen bases. So Gaston with a lead. Wants to add to it, this Minnesota team, the damage they've done. And Gruber will take it down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
See, Roberto's number is stealing third. Last night he stole third base. A lot of people feel it's a lot easier to steal third. Most of the time runners go on their own. They don't get assigned to steal third base. So Alomar is on his own here.
Kelly Gruber pops that one up in foul territory. Leas may have room and does. Puts it away. So Gruber pops out. And that will leave a couple on base, but a 2-out rally adds a run to the lead. Toronto up. I mentioned earlier the loss of power the Blue Jays have suffered, even though Joe Carter's hitting them for them right now. This season, their average runs per game has dropped from 4.74 last year to 3.45 this year, a substantial reduction. Yet, this ball club's still a game and a half up, and they are beginning to hit the ball even harder here the last half-dozen games. Kirby Puckett will lead it off. Drew a walk his first time up. Wells, that's to right. Carter's there, and Puckett is gone. 1 away in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Well, let's have the anatomy of how David Wells pitched Chili Davis first time up. Started him off with a fastball inside. Chili fouled it off. Next pitch looked like a fastball coming inside again. The bottom fell out. Chili swung and missed. Fastball back inside again. That gets the hitter to tune up the dial. He knows he has to be quick on the inside pitch. And then the off-the-table curveball, too quick on the swing. And Chili out of there on strikes. Wells pitched him very, very well first time around.
With that strikeout, Chili Davis now 7 for 17 with 2 home runs lifetime off David Wells. See what he has done as a switch hitter. Chili Davis lifetime batting average in the majors of .267 coming into this season. Around with San Francisco and the California Angels. The most home runs he's ever had in a major league season. 24 hit with the Giants in 1987. So he's well on his way to a career high in home runs with the 17 he already has this season. And he ladles that to deep left center field near the wall. This ball's off the top. Davis trying to get into second base. The throw is not in time. A double for Davis.
You saw the smile on Chili's face. He knows that he went into his home run trot a little prematurely and had to turn on the afterburners to get the double. He thought he had this one over the fence in left center field, but he hit it out near 390 feet. It hit off the top of the plexiglass. That fence is 13 feet high out there. And Chili thinks he's got all of that one. He did. He just didn't get enough altitude on it.
He's on at second base. That's just the second hit for the Twins off Wells. And inside to Harper. He had retired 8 in a row, 9 in a row before the double by Chili Davis. Let's see what Harper can do with him. He flied out to center his first time up for Chili Davis. He has 16 doubles this season. He's on at second with 1 out. That's to right field, not deep. Carter coming near the line. Will put it away. Davis played it halfway, and Carter gets it back in. And there are 2 down. Let's check in with John Saunders.
You say Chili Davis went into the trot early. Well, here's a guy who went into the trot at an appropriate time. Carlton Fisk against Randy Johnson. Career home run number 359. He's number 5 on the active list. The 2-run shot, and the White Sox take the lead. 3-2 is now the score in the 4th inning. And now let's get back to Gary and Dave, the Jays and the Twins in Minneapolis.
Chicago's got themselves out of the cellar. They had lost enough games to fall behind Kansas City, but now they have won 5 in a row and have moved ahead of the Royals, who themselves have lost 5 in a row.
Royals only team in the West below 500. Everybody else, the other 6 teams, 500 or above.
Tough division. Strike taken by Mack with Chili Davis on at second base and 2 down. For these Minnesota Twins, as far as the division games are concerned, they are 29-10 against the East. Wells, the 0-1. That's outside.
Talked about the fact tonight that Kirby Puckett has appeared to misjudge 2 balls, one that fell in front of him and one that went over his head. Dave Henderson of the Oakland A's, whenever he comes to the Metrodome in Minneapolis, he plays right field. He cannot play center field here. The last 2 times in, he just cannot see the ball.
You don't have to kick me. I agree with you.
I didn't mean to.
Oh. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one is chopped off his foot. That's a foul ball. We got him on the foot in the batter's box.
Once again, Wells is coming inside on Shane Mack. And Mack, with that big sweeping swing, cannot handle good stuff inside. But obviously, Shane hit well over 300 last year. Seen some big home runs this year. Pitchers don't throw it exactly where they want to all the time. Mack, an excellent breaking ball hitter. Likes the fastball out over the plate, and he is strong. He just has a wide sweep with a swing.
And his first major league grand slam home run off the Cleveland Indians, 14th of this month. 1-2 count on him, 2 down. He's batting .262 with Davis at second base. Oh, and he chased that one. Wells gets his second strikeout of the game. No runs, the double by Davis, but he's left stranded at second.
ESPN Major League Baseball is brought to you by Miller High Life, by that man a Miller, by that fan a Miller, and by Subaru. We built our reputation by building a better car.
Beautiful sunset, Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of these Twins, the Timberwolves, and those exciting Minnesota North Stars. We told you they put some signs up for us here tonight. Yeah, how about them Twins?
How about them dogs?
Trouble is, it wasn't exactly what we wanted to show you here tonight thus far, and at least not what the Twins wanted to show you. The Jays are getting it done. Tabler, Sprague, and Borders up for Toronto. We mentioned what the Twins had done against the Eastern Division. For these Toronto Blue Jays, that one out to shallow right field. Knobloch, the second baseman, will be called off by Mack. He puts it away. Tabler's retired. Toronto Blue Jays this season are 24-16 against the Eastern Division in which they play. They are 15-16 against the West, so a victory here tonight would even their record against the Western Division teams. This is the first time they've played Minnesota, and they have not played Seattle yet. The All-Star break just a week and a half away.
They go to Seattle just before the break. Final 3 games before the break. I was asking Cedar Gaston, I said, wait a minute, you guys go from here home for the next 7 days, and then you go to Seattle. Why don't you just go to Seattle? He says, I don't make out the schedule.
He's not real happy about the schedule. Popped up outside of first. There'll be no play on it.
Well, we mentioned at the onset of the broadcast that once every 7 years, because of the odd number of teams in each division, one team draws the unlucky straw of finishing the last 25 games or so out of their division. It makes it tough because you really can't play head-to-head with your main competition. But this year, Toronto draws the short straw. They're in a string right now of 30 consecutive games against the West. Then they play all East until the early September, and then they finish 23 final games against the Western Division. So they are what they call the swing team this year in the Eastern Division.
I thought he had an interesting point. He said today, he said, you know, I think the team that finishes last should be the team that becomes the swing team rather than rotating it. He said, why should a team have to suffer like that, especially a team? I mean, here's the Toronto Blue Jays. They are the only team to play 500-plus baseball for the last 8 years. And they end up having to finish up 23 games of the season out of their division. And he's really not happy with that, and he doesn't believe that's fair. I think he's got a point.
Well, I do, too, except that most of the time by August, the schedule's already made out for the following year. You have to take into account a lot of different factors. Try telling that to the Houston Astros, who play 26 in a row on the road next year.
Yeah, there are 2 down as Sprague becomes a strikeout victim of Carl Willis. That's his first strikeout. Don't forget ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, 8 o'clock. It will be in Atlanta. The Los Angeles Dodgers and Oral Hershiser will be on the mound against the Atlanta Braves as he continues what right now is a very strong comeback. 8 o'clock Sunday night. 2 down, bases empty. Pat Borders 0 for 2. A 4-0 lead for Toronto. Joe Carter is 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Alomar's got an RBI, and Devon White 2 for 3 and an RBI. Starter Guthrie, 4 runs, 8 hits over 3 2/3. Willis is on now. He's retired the first 3 batters that he's faced. And Borders to left field. That's going to be trouble for Gladden. Oh, foul ball. No trouble at all.
Yeah, Borders showed pretty good power a year ago for the Blue Jays. 10 home runs. It's left-handed pitching this year. Really got out to a rocky start. Greg Myers took over as the everyday catcher for a while. Borders getting back in now against the Southpaws, but still only has 5 extra base hits, all doubles so far this year.
As you take a look at the inside of the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome here, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell. ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. And a big rip, and Willis has his second strikeout as Borders is gone. 1-2-3 inning. That's the first time that's happened to the Blue Jays. That's what you do when you go to a ball game. They're bad here in the press box in Minneapolis because they have candy. They have a big box of candy. Candy bars, chocolates, ice cream. Oh, Mama, I want some.
Yeah, Johnny's got his second ice cream.
How come I don't get any, Dad?
Dad said, wait a minute, we got the middle part of the order coming up here. Come up. I'll go get you something when the Blue Jays come up.
That one is going to be fouled off deep. Well, let's see whether or not Twins are going to be able to do anything here with David Wells. Larkin flied out his first time up. They have left only 3 on base, a couple in scoring position. They are 10-5, this Minnesota team, against left-handed starters, batting .274 off the lefties. Wells has shut them down here. And a letter high strike in the inside corner. 0-2 on Larkin.
Consistency. Gene Larkin, the last 4 years, 266, 267, 267, 269. Wind up the Gene Larkin dial and you get the high 260s.
That's incredible. It's uncanny when you get numbers like that. And there aren't many who do that, obviously, who'll be that consistent. And that's a base hit. First hit Larkin's ever had off David Wells. Leadoff man's on. John?
Braves and the Astros, a little bit of defense here. John Smoltz in trouble, had the bases full, nobody out. But gets Yelding to bounce it to Blauser, who comes home. They get Gonzalez, but they're not done. Casey Candel then at the plate. Knocks it down to first to Tommy Gregg. Ken Caminiti coming in, but they have him as he bowls over Olsen as well. Smoltz get out of the bases loaded situation. Get it back.
What does Greg Olsen think? He is a bowling pin or what?
They give his catcher a bonus after that inning. Leadoff man's on base. And a check swing to second base. Alomar hauls it in, and that'll retire Scott Leyes. He didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do it. They couldn't hold up in time. 1 out.
Maybe that'll turn things around for John Smoltz. Sometimes something like that can change things around. Remember 1985, Lamar Hoyt was pitching for the Padres. He started out 2-4, had an astronomical ERA, went into Shea Stadium. Bases loaded first inning, nobody out, got an out, and then got Gary Carter on a 3-0 pitch to hit into a home to first double play, and then went on to win 11 in a row. So sometimes getting out of the jam like that, Smoltz has been struggling. May turn it around for him.
Like Steele did about yourself again. Larkin on at first, 1 away. Gagne up. And Wells, fastball missing inside, ball 1. 1 walk, couple of strikeouts. And the Twins, Gagne, 3 for his last 37. That's why that June batting average is down to 179. A much better hitter than those June numbers would indicate. Batting .265 on the year, and that one to left field is deep. Hill back at the wall, may have room, and does. Glenn Allen Hill on a paint scraper right up against the wall in left.
It's a home run in a lot of baseball parks, but 343 right down the line. And for Greg Gagne, he's probably saying it figures. That's the way things have been going of late. That ball comes within about 3 feet of putting the Twins right back in this game as Hill leans against the fence, makes the catch.
He's already talking to himself. Oh. A deep breath. Leadoff batter is Gladden to center field, running and making the turn and stopping is Larkin. So Gladden gets his first hit. Loop single to center. He's 1 for 3. And there are runners at first and second, but there are 2 down.
Well, nothing to be terribly proud of for Dan Gladden. He got fisted, but he'll take it. A couple of the hits by the Twins tonight have been jam jobs. Chuck Knobloch, his first time up, looped one to center field.
And Knobloch is coming to the plate right now. They need the big hit. Try and get to Wells. Knobloch, another one of the Twins who likes hitting here at home. Part of that big 304 home batting average. And Wells misses inside, ball 1. Knobloch, not a roster player, has only been in professional baseball for 2 seasons. Played a Double-A ball last year and hit .289 with only a couple of home runs. He's a contact hitter in the Southern League. He led the league in the ratio of strikeouts and at-bats in not striking out. 1 ball, 1 strike on him here.
Yeah, he's only punched out 4 out of his last 140 at-bats. Told you the Twins do not strike out much. That's a ratio of once every 35 trips to the plate for Knobloch, so he will put it in play.
Celebrating his 23rd birthday, July 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike to him, and Knobloch fights it off as Wells came in on him, 1 and 2.
1 out of 35 is great. There's a guy named Joe Sewell, though, a little infielder, a left-handed batter who played for 14 years in the big leagues, struck out an average of once every 62 at-bats. Only 114 times in 14 years. Rob Deere's moving in on that already for this season.
I bet he choked up. Runners at first and second, Larkin and Gladden. Knobloch had a single in the first inning. He was stranded at second in that inning. And he pops it up. Boy, Wells really jamming him. Sprague, the first baseman, hauls it in, and that'll do it. Wells just not giving in. No runs, a couple of hits, and 2 more are left on base. Twins, not a ball club used to getting shut out. The kind of record they obviously are putting together this season. They come into this game first in team batting average and 4th in runs. Toronto's 4th in average and 8th in runs. But right now the Blue Jays are getting it done, and Carl Willis, who's on in relief, has retired all 4 batters he's faced. Manuel Lee leading it off.
I like the way you say that, Manuel.
Glenn Allen Hill will follow Manuel.
Well said also. Devon White.
The 0-1 to him, he swung on and missed. It makes me smile every time I say his name because one of my favorite television shows of all time was Fawlty Towers with John Cleese on public television. And Manuel was the waiter who Cleese destroyed for the entire series. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You seen Soap Dish yet?
No, I heard you say it was great.
Great movie. Fouled off. It has all that John Cleese kinds of comedy in it.
That sick humor that you like so much?
That's right, with Kevin Kline performing it.
I see him in the something about death. What? You know what I'm thinking of.
No, I only saw him in A Fish Named Wanda.
Brain cramp. I got a brain cramp there. I love you to death. That's it.
I love you to death. Yes, in that.
With Tracy Ullman.
A funny man.
Cisco and Ebert here.
And that's our movie review for the night. A 4-0 lead for the Blue Jays. Twins fans waiting and hoping they'll have something to cheer about.
2 thumbs up for that fan.
Yes. There's a hard base hit. And Lee is on. He's 1 for 3 leadoff single, John.
Expos in the Mets. Doug Pyatt on relief. Howard Johnson at the plate. And Hojo says, take this, Fred McGriff. McGriff had tied him for the home run lead in the National League, but this one, number 16 on the year for Hojo. 2-run shot, and New York leads at 7-3 now in the 8th inning. Let's get you back now to Gary and Dave.
Hojo really carrying the New York Mets offensively right now.
As long as the Mets are making so many position switches, I have a suggestion. Hojo to the outfield.
He can play it. Has the arm and the ability to cover some ground. Glenn Allen Hill, runner goes down low. Throw by Harper is not in time. And Lee picks up the stolen base. Toronto's 2 for 2 in this ball game. Lee has 4 on the year.
A little bit of a high leg kick. Manny did not have a great jump. It's a hit and run play, though, because you can see him looking over his shoulder. Glenn Allen Hill did not offer it. Throw just a little offline. Second base umpire Mike Rowley says safe. See Harper's mask go flying. If the throw is on target, they get him, but you can see his foot's on the bag before Gagne can get the tag down.
And that's towards third. Nice play by Lais over the first base. Will get the out on Glenn Allen Hill, so they finally get him. He's 2 for 3 with a double and a single.
Talked an awful lot about the Twins pitching and hitting, but the defense has been superb. We talked about Greg Gagne, 42 consecutive games without an error. Scott Lais and Mike Pagliarulo have done a good job over at third. Knobloch at second, and the normal first baseman Ken Herbeck, who is out with a shoulder injury right now, could see him as a pinch hitter tonight.
And Ortiz and Harper don't hurt you behind the plate, where you can pick up a lot of errors on throws. People running against it. One down here. Runner in scoring position. It's bounced to Devon White. A triple, a double, and has grounded out. Look what the top of the order has done in this game for Toronto, with White, Alomar, and Carter putting those numbers up.
Devon, number 4, coming in multi-hit games, has added to that tonight with a 2-hit game. So Devon White, who had a tough 1990, ended up going out to the minor leagues with the Angels to Edmonton, is having a banner year for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Good lead at second. Carl Willis hits the inside corner, a ball and a strike. With the 2 stolen bases that have been picked up tonight by Toronto, they remain at second only to Oakland for the team lead in stolen bases this season. Ricky Henderson obviously leading the Oakland A's. 1-1 pitch, and that one misses outside. 2-1.
Fun to watch Devon White hit a gapper, because I don't think there's anybody in baseball that goes from home to third base any faster. He looks like a greyhound when he gets between first and second.
Big hole up the middle in the infield, deep in the outfield. 2-1 pitch to him. Good tailing pitch by Willis. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With the 2 hits he's added tonight, Devon White has upped his average now to 292 and has had 11 hits in his last 25 at-bats. Here's an all-star. A couple years ago, ended up going back to the minor leagues, then getting traded. And now look at him. He may have found himself. Runner will go. Harper could not find the ball in time.
I think if I'm the Twins, I might want to have appealed that at third base. I thought White offered it to pitch, but time is called now, so it's too late to do anything. Tom Kelly obviously did not agree with me, or he would have been up asking for an appeal. Yep, he held it.
Another wild pitch.
Twins have the infield in. They cannot concede any more runs at this point.
1 down. Lee's on at third. A single, stolen base, and a wild pitch, and it's fouled back by Hill, who's just trying to, White rather, who's just trying to drive the ball now, get it through the drawn-in infield.
Devon had a lot of problems with strikeouts when he was with the Angels. Always annually above 100, but that time indication that he's cut down his swing a little bit with 2 strikes on him.
He has struck out 55 times. 56. White is retired. That's a big out for Carl Willis. Willis now has 3 strikeouts since coming on in the 4th inning. The only hit off in the single by Lee.
Carl Willis has been impressive. This probably a changeup. Bottom fell out of that and tailed away. Great looking pitch from Carl Willis. He's kept the ball down very well since he's come out.
Right now holding the Twins in the game. Still with a job to be done here, though, with a runner on at third base and 2 away. And Alomar, who tripled in the first inning, will take the pitch with a strike. Alomar's average up to 272. The 1 for 2 and a walk. Bunting, and a good one. Larkin tagging, missed him, and a run scores, and he's safe again. A big play not made by Jane Larkin at first base. Lee scores a bunt single for Alomar and an RBI. And Kelly's really unhappy about that, but no more unhappy than Larkin.
Well, we mentioned the last time that Alomar was up there that he might drag a bunt. Kelly's asking about the rule. The rule being you're only out of the baseline if you are, let's see, if you're avoiding a tag and go out of the baseline, then you can be called, but not when you're running to first base. So Roberto Alomar went right around Larkin, evaded the tag. Robbie will bunt with a man on third if the infield's playing back. He was trying to bunt that ball to second. Now Larkin looks like he's got him here. Robbie goes out, out, out. Now I don't think there is a tag. And safe call here. He's not really safe till he touches the bag, and now he is safe. And Steve Palermo says, hey, he can avoid it.
Kelly has asked the home plate umpire, Rich Garcia, to help out here, saying, you see the angle of Palermo. He cannot see straight down the line. He's moving to make a call. So Kelly asked Garcia to get involved, but Palermo obviously said he didn't need any help on the call made there.
So again, you're only out of the baseline if you're avoiding a tag, except when you're running to first base in that particular situation. If that would have happened between third and home or any of the other bases, Alomar would have been called out for going out of the baseline.
RBI credited to Alomar. 5-0 game. Alomar's now got 2 RBIs. He's 2 for 3, and they're looking for the steal. Throw down, not going. Alomar with 2 down. That is a very big run. Alomar now has 33 RBIs. The pitch out taken by Harper, figuring Alomar might try and jump on him right there.
5th run, as you said, Gary, always important, because now Cito Gaston knows in his own mind that a grand slam homer, the ultimate hit in baseball, still can't tie him. Carter
trying to stay perfect. 2 doubles, a single, a .315 batting average as a result of that 3 for 3, and 2 more RBIs added to his total here tonight. Runner at first and 2 down. More relaxed, huh?
Cito's always relaxed. Sometimes churning inside, but very rarely see it unless he's out face to face with an umpire. Joe Carter checking Rich Hacker, the third base coach, see if Robbie might be running here.
Pretty good lead at first, and Willis will looking back.
I think Roberto basically is on his own. He has a green light. The only time that he won't run is if Gaston puts the red light on and not run. But I think right here it's pick a pitch and go if you want to.
Almost. Good play by Larkin. Ball thrown in the dirt on the attempted pickoff. You see Alomar's lead extended so that he had to dive back in, and if you're running, that's the way you want it.
Sure helps when you're a youngster and your dad plays Major League Baseball for 15 years. You grow up in Major League parks. And that's what Roberto Alomar did, and he observed. He's a very intelligent player.
He's checking the signs at third again from Hacker. 2 ball, 1 strike count, 2 down, 5-0 lead for the Jays. They now are out hitting the Twins 10-4 in the top half of the 6th inning. Carter. And a very close play as Alomar almost went too wide to the outfield side of the bag.
Well, Roberto definitely going. You'll see the false step. Whoops. But he still has the balance to get back. Let's see the tag. And close. Steve Palermo couldn't have been any closer. He's close as we are, even with a close-up.
See if he goes this time. No. And Carter will take the pitch down low. 3 balls and 1 strike on Carter.
Joe has 11 home runs in the month of June. That ties an all-time Blue Jay record set by George Bell. And we are at 26, so he's got tonight and 3 pops left after this.
1 hot hitter. 3-1 to him, and he laces that one to center field. Puckett back near the wall and hauls it in 400 feet away. Well, they get Carter, but it don't come easy. 1 run in, they extend the lead now to 5-0. Leading at 5-0 after losing last night 8-6. This Minnesota record of 24-3, that big streak, in jeopardy of taking its 4th loss here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Puckett, Davis, and Harper. Kirby, 0 for 1 and a walk. 12-game hit streak for him. 2 for 11 lifetime against Wells. He's gone after the first pitch. Each time up, fouls that one back.
Mentioned at the top of the telecast that Wells, 4 of his last 5 starts, he's pitched a minimum of 8 innings. The only time he didn't, he was kicked out for arguing with an umpire. So this guy has been the workhorse of the Blue Jay staff beginning in the month of May. He's picked up the slack with Dave Steve out with the shoulder and now back injury.
0-1. Puckett will take it away as the Twins need some base runners. Kirby Puckett, a lifetime .320 batter. 3rd highest batting average during the decade of the 80s behind Boggs and Mattingly. Fouls that one back. Hit .298 last season. And I always thought had one of the great numbers of all time in 1988 when he posted the highest batting average against right-handers in '88 since Joe DiMaggio's .357 in 1941. That's the kind of category Kirby Puckett is in for that bat. The great pure hitters of the game. And he lays off that pitch. 2-2.
Tony Oliva, who was the great hitter with the Minnesota Twins, now a coach, says if Kirby Puckett played in New York, they would have a statue erected of him in Times Square.
Back to center field. Devon White. You can see why this ballpark is not a Homer Dome. You've seen it tonight on at least 3 separate occasions. And some well-hit balls.
What? Kirby's 0 for 3 tonight. Give me a break.
How to stay active in a game. Get some more spittoon on that. Come on, Superman, you can do it.
I can't bear to watch.
It's not easy, but Superman can get it done. Chili Davis had a double in the 4th inning.
Who says their attention span is not much longer than 5 minutes? Concession time.
And you told me you wanted to bring him up here to watch the game
yeah,
tonight.
Right, in the booth.
Here's the 0-1 to 3rd. Kelly Gruber's got it. And there are 2 down. Stick 'em on, John Saunders.
Albert Bell spent his penance in the minors. The Indians were 2-15 while he was there. Well, tonight he returns against the Orioles. This one brings in Mike Huff, Carlos Baerga. He had 2 hits in the 1st inning, 3 runs batted in, and the Indians, for Greg Swindell, who ends a losing streak, cruised to the victory, 10-4. Get it back to you.
Maybe you got the message.
Tribe's on the warpath.
That one lined towards right center field. Carter will get there. And Harper is 0 for 3 on 3 fly ball outs. And Wells again retires the side in order. Six complete here in Minneapolis, and the Blue Jays are leading by a score of 5-0 in the 2nd meeting of these teams this season. Sunday night, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves. Oral Hershiser continuing the comeback, scheduled to make the start for the Dodgers. You'll see it at 8 o'clock. John Miller, Joe Morgan from Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. Carl Willis doing a good job in relief of Mark Guthrie, who gave up 4 runs over 3 2/3 innings on 8 hits. 3 hits have been picked up off Willis, or 2 hits off Willis in the game, and that run in the 6th inning charged to him. So we go to the 7th inning, and Kelly Gruber, who is 0 for 2 and has drawn a walk. Gruber batting, as you see, at .246, but really just starting to get back into the game. Center field, another deep fly ball. Puckett again 400 feet away.
Kirby got a good jump that time. He got his first step right and made the catch easy.
Rance Mullinax will be the pinch hitter. Mullinax coming up for Pat Tabler. Tabler had gone 0 for 3. And that'll be taken down low. Carl Willis just trying to hold the Toronto Blue Jays to the lead they've got right now. Mullinax trying to get on and add to it. It's only the second potential at bat as a pinch hitter for Rance Mullinax. He is 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Pretty good numbers, though. Willis, the right-hander, fouled off the mask of Harper and then off the home plate umpire. See John Olerud standing there in the on-deck circle. Right there. He also coming out as a pinch hitter to hit for Sprague. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Mullinax. 1 down, 7th inning. And that'll be taken down low for a ball.
Could be a forkball right there from Carl Willis. Bottom dropping out of it. Better action than a changeup would have. Got a good strikeout on Devon White with that pitch back in the 6th inning. But then Alomar had a bunt hit for a single to drive the run in anyway.
And Mullinax chases one, and Willis has got 4 strikeouts now. Could not ask for much more in the middle than what Carl Willis has done.
Bottom drops out again. Looks like the forkball. You saw the fingers spread a little bit as he was delivering the pitch. So a lot of pitchers coming up with that, resurrecting their careers. Carl Willis, we told you, a journeyman type pitcher, has come up with that extra pitch to make him effective.
Now he'll face John Olerud. Olerud's been out taking some extra batting practice of late. The reason they were able to trade, at least in part, Fred McGriff, their power hitter, as Olerud was ready to play at first, but you see it's been a bit of a struggle for this young Blue Jay this season. 8 home runs, 24 RBIs, not a lot of strikeouts, 39 strikeouts, 27 walks, so not a bad ratio there, just the average. It's not up for him. And that's in there for a strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Jays wouldn't even mind seeing the strikeout total go up. They feel in the situation with 2 strikes on him right now that Olerud has been a little tentative, kind of feeling for the ball, not wanting to strike out. I think the Jays would just soon have him take his good rips.
Takes that one down and away, doesn't chase it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Batting .242 against the left-handers. He's done a little better against left-handers than he has against the right-handers. Bit of a surprise. 2-2 pitch to him, and that'll be grounded to first. Larkin is there. Willis has a 1-2-3 inning. And from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, the Dave Campbell Gary Thorne, it's 7th inning stretch time. Minnesota's 24-12 at home, but the Blue Jays are threatening to tack on a 13 to that record as they have the 5-0 lead. 7th inning stretch time complete. David Wells, the left-hander, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts.
Efficiently done. 71 pitches through 6. He's on schedule to pitch a complete game. Pretty nice feeling for Cito Gaston. If you got a 5-0 lead in the 7th, your ace going, and guys like Dwayne Ward and Tom Henke available.
Wells can get the win. He'll be just the 2nd left-handed starter in the last 36 games to pick up a victory over the Twins. 0-1 pitch. Of course, with a 24-3 mark, not many pitchers, right or left-handed, have done anything against the Twins. But he's throttled them so far. Back hitting .260 on the season. Larkin Scott Leyes to follow. And another pop-up. He's gotten that pitch in on the fist all night long to these right-handed hitters. And Alomar's retired. Coming up right here on ESPN, we'll have our Top-Ranked Boxing live from Las Vegas. You will see it tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Championship bouts will include the bantam lightweight division, the heavyweight, and the lightweight. That'll all be coming to you tomorrow at 9 right here on ESPN.
David Wells giving a good lesson. Got good stuff, pounded inside. Most hitters don't like the fastball in. They can't get around on it. Even the great power hitters like it out over the plate. Not too many great power hitters have been inside hitters necessarily.
And Wells is getting it in there tonight. Larkin out a single in the 5th inning. Not this time. Kelly Gruber. Just like that, there are 2 down. There have been 5 left on by Minnesota. They've had 3 in scoring position in this game, but no real threat to Wells. First inning, they got a couple on with 1 down, and that's about as close as they have come. Wells, 1 complete game this season, no shutouts. He did not have a complete game all of last year.
Talked about Wells' great ratio of few runners for innings pitched. He started the night 96 runners in 90 innings. Tonight he's only allowed 5 runners in 6 2/3. But last year, just to prove it wasn't an aberration, he allowed 10 runners per 9. So this is a quality pitcher you don't hear an awful lot about.
Going for his 9th win here tonight. 2 down, bases empty. Towards the gap in left center field, and that one's going to fall in. Take the hop off the top of the wall. It'll be a double. And Leyes is on at second base. With the second extra base hit. Chili Davis had an earlier double.
Seen a lot of balls in that left center field gap tonight for both teams. Leyes gets the 2-out double. See if Greg Gagne can find a way to break out of his misery. Fastball middle of the plate, and you see how those hitters like to get their arms extended. Complete extension by Leyes as opposed to being tied up inside the way that Wells has had most of the right-handed hitters today.
He just his 2nd double of the season, and that is hit number 5 off Wells. Leyes at second base. Gagne 0 for 2, the number 9 hitter. But there are 2 down. And the off-speed breaking ball is in, to the dismay of Gagne, who came this close to a home run in the 5th inning when he hit a towering fly ball to left that came right down along the wall into the glove of Hill.
Where was that in Fenway?
Way up in the screen.
Way up.
0-1 delivery. Another one to left. Not as deep. Glenn Allen Hill. Fist off the warning track, and that will do it. Wells is just not giving in. No runs, a double, and the runner is left on. 7 complete. David Wells is pitching that shutout. He has only 1 career complete game. He picked that up against California on the 31st when he got a 5-1 win. He has never had a shutout. That's what he is working on in this game. And a pretty good lead to go with it. Carl Willis to Borders, who lines it to right. Mack is over. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the top half of the 8th inning. Let's check in, John.
Yankees and the Red Sox. 7th inning. Steve Howe on relief facing Tony Pena. Swinging at the pitch in the dirt. Luis Rivera, one that's a little outside. And Ellis Burks, the breaking ball. He can't catch up with it. Steve Howe's pumped up, and he should. Yankees go on to win the game 5-1. Let's get it back, Steve.
There is nothing Yankee manager Stump Merrill likes to do more than beat Boston. He's New England born and raised and a Yankee fan in Red Sox country. So he shines when they beat Boston. And they've done it 2 days in a row. Lee singled and scored in the 6th inning. Driven home by Alomar's 2nd RBI of the game. 2 runs in the 1st inning. Alomar and Carter had RBIs. Carter's got 2 in the game. Alomar's got 2. Devon White has picked up 1.
You always look for a silver lining when maybe not your night, and the silver lining for the Twins tonight has been the work of Carl Willis. He has pitched very, very well. Would have been scoreless with the exception of a bunt single play that Larkin didn't make a real good play on.
He's pitched 3 2/3 innings now. Has given up the 1 run on 2 hits. That's it for the 30-year-old Willis. No walks and 4 strikeouts. 0-2 delivery. Tag to center. Puckett back. Balls it in. 2 down. Lee retired.
Could be a little adjustment for Kirby. Again, he didn't get a good read on it. He stayed right in his tracks for about 2 beats, and all of a sudden hot-footed it back. So he's not reading the ball real well off the bat here. Again, we told you about other center fielders. Dave Henderson of the Oakland A's. They have a lot of trouble in this ballpark.
Glenn Allen Hill, number 9 hitter, gone 2 for 3 with a double and a single, and has scored a run. Batting .245 on the season. 2 down, nobody on. A 5-0 lead for the Jays. And that's outside ball 1.
Glenn Allen, 1985 in the Southern League, struck out 211 times in barely over 400 at-bats. Yet he's persevered. He's got great physical talent. He has the strength and speed of a Bo Jackson. He just hadn't put it all together yet on the baseball field. 6'6" in the 60. Also is the strongest Blue Jay in every strength test they've taken by more than 20%.
You can drive the baseball. That one's going to be another base hit. So he's on again. That's 3 hits, 3 for 4 in the ball game for Glenn Allen Hill. And the Blue Jays in double digits. 11 hits on the night. He's got 3 of them. A 2-out single here in the 8th inning.
Saw the old left-handed catcher Mike Squires talking to him, first base coach of the Blue Jays. Squires, one of the few guys in baseball history that was left-handed and went behind the plate for an inning or 2.
Proud of him.
That's right, you being a southpaw. But you're not all southpaw. You hit right-handed. You're really messed up.
That's what it is, messed up. Devon White, he has tripled and doubled and scored twice and has an RBI.
Which foot do you kick with?
Pretty darn good night. Left.
Left. How do you play golf?
Right.
You are totally messed up.
Mess.
Ping pong?
Right.
Pool?
Left. And none of it any good. That's the whole problem.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, one of the great athletes, Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson, did everything left-handed except play baseball.
I caught left-handed in high school and in the youth leagues, Pony League, and that sort of thing. Had to get Wilson to make a glove for me at the time. Nobody made them. And they said, oh, you can't do it because you'll hit a batter. You'll always hit right-handed batters in the head, which is foolish. You won't hit a right-handed batter any more than a right-handed catcher will hit a left-handed batter.
That's a good point.
Throw overhand, you don't hit anybody.
Just prejudice against left-handers. The world is.
The world is like that.
Because I write left-handed, need left-handed, and play pool and ping pong left-handed. I should have hit left-handed.
That was maybe that was it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. There's a base hit into right field. So White's got another one, stopping at second base. Glenn Allen Hill. And Devon White has picked up his 3rd hit. Almost the cycle, a triple, double, and a single in 5 at-bats.
The black clouds are forming over the silver clouds on Carl Willis, and probably Tom Kelly says, maybe I've extended Carl a little bit too much. I might want to get Terry Leach in here. We're going to see.
Yeah, I think Willis is a little empty on the gas tank right now, and understandably so. He does not come in for long streaks, and I suspect will be taken out of there right here, as he certainly got the job done. He last appeared on the 18th at Baltimore. He worked 3 innings there, gave up a couple of runs on 3 hits, picked up his first American League save in that game. Here he was on just trying to hold the lead as it was, and he will leave right here. He'll be responsible for the 2 base runners who are on. Terry Leach, the veteran right-hander, out of the pen. The youngsters on hand here now that school is out, and they will pull in some big crowds. This ball club playing the way they are, but tonight they are getting shut down. The 5-0 lead, and on is Terry Leach.
Leach spent quite a bit of time with the New York Mets. Also seen duty with the Kansas City Royals. He has been especially effective in his career on AstroTurf. And Gary, you and I were standing there tonight. I said, Terry, how come you pitched so well on AstroTurf? He says, I don't know. 15-2 starting the year on AstroTurf, and the batting average about 60 points lower in the career on natural grass, higher. Don't ask me why.
There's one reason. He goes to 3rd for the force out. And that'll do it. So he comes on and makes 1 pitch against Roberto Alomar in the ground ball to 3rd. 2 are left on, but the Jays are up 5-0. With a victory, David Wells will be 9-4 and maybe have his first ever complete game shutout. We'll see. He faces Gladden, Knobloch, and Puckett due up here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Twins have been shut out 4 times this season. And he gets it in for a strike.
One of the reasons a pitcher like Wells is on his feet might have a chance for a complete game victory. The Twins the last 3 years have been the most aggressive hitting team in the American League. They take the fewest pitches per at bat. They also have a great team batting average at .278. They also have the fewest strikeouts, and one of the reasons is they hit early in the count.
Their 11-game win streak here at home on the line. And Gladden, Carter, right there, hauls it in. And Gladden had that single in the 5th, but that has been it for him as he is 1 for 4. One down here in the 8th inning. Chuck Knobloch coming up, and a single in the 1st. Wells just dominating, walked 2 strikeouts. It's one of the reasons why the pitch count is down for him. He is a fly ball pitcher when he's on, and he's had the pop-ups and the fly balls tonight. And in this ballpark, a night like tonight, it'll work for you. You've seen how many deep fly ball outs here tonight. Knobloch hitting at .284. Lines it into left field for a base hit. And Allen Hill over to get it. Knobloch will stop at first base with a 1-out single. John.
The Cubs and the Pirates, a pretty good night for Jay Bell in the 7th inning here. Sends this one out into left field. Jose Lean comes around to score. Jay Bell on the night 5 for 5 as the Pirates win it 7-6 for Bob Walk, who's now 6-0 and has won 8 straight decisions since last September. Back to you.
Pirate bats coming alive here. See if the Twins can mount a big late rally. Puckett is up. Maybe his last chance to continue his 12-game hit streak.
Twins taking a strike, even though Wells has been on his feet, throwing strikes. Tom Kelly says, hey, let's make him throw a strike, try to wear him out a little bit. Of course, if you wear him out, then you get to Dwayne Ward and Tom Henke. It's no day at the beach, and it looks like one or the other or both are going to get up in the Toronto bullpen.
Puckett batting .325. Has had the 0 for tonight. Did pick up a walk. Longest hit streak he's ever had, 17 back in '88. And when he gets to play a lot of games here, he'll keep it going with a .350 career batting average here at home. Came in batting .483 against left-handers. And pops it up. Carter. And he's got it. And Puckett's retired. 2 down.
Dwayne Ward and Bob McDonald, the only left-hander in either bullpen, warming. They are the get out of the 8th inning guys to get it to the 9th for Tom Henke if needed. But right now David Wells doesn't look like he does. He has faced 30 batters tonight and thrown a strike on the first pitch 21 times. And we often talk about how important it is to throw strike one. You get ahead of the hitters, batting averages shrink. And you can look at every stat showing, and that will be the case.
Only one leadoff man has been on base. Towering fly ball to left field. Chili Davis. Goodbye, home run. He's got the lead in homers.
See what David thinks. Pitching coach Galen Cisco is on his way out to the mound. Allen Hill gave us a little deke there. He went back to the edge of the warning track, kept looking up. I thought he had a play. He just didn't see it. And the shutout that he had, he doesn't anymore.
18 home runs for Chili Davis to lead the American League as he goes one ahead of Joe Carter.
Fastball, Chili leans. And he got enough of it.
50 RBIs will move him into 5th place, so the bullseye wasn't hit, but the homer was. And Wells has given up 8 home runs on the season now. 6 to right-handers, 2 to left-handers. And the Twins trying to mount the big comeback, get 2 runs here in the 8th inning. And it comes with 2 down. Brian Harper now, his hit streak of 13 games on the line. Base is cleared. Off the handle again. Glenn Allen Hill, a long run from left field, but he puts it away, and that'll do it in the 8th inning. 2 runs on 2 hits, nobody left on, but he still has the lead. Well, he certainly deserved to have the shutout. Pitched well enough, but he's not going to get it. David Wells, though, has been the story, Dave Campbell.
He really has. A minimum number of pitches, been ahead of the hitters all night. He tried to get strike 1 on Chili Davis, and Chili went deep on him. But you throw strike 1, you're going to win most of the time.
And got to remember, he's doing it against the hottest offensive team in baseball.
They really are. They've hit nearly 300 in the last month. Chili Davis has hit a lot of home runs, but David Wells has made him swing the bat, kept the ball in on him very, very well tonight. They haven't gotten their arms extended except once or twice.
And the Toronto Blue Jays, who need wins, trying to work ahead of the Boston Red Sox, may be able to do that here if they can beat teams like the Twins.
Well, they're going to have to, because their next 29 games after this one are against the much tougher Western Division, but the Blue Jays probably are up to the task.
This one's not over yet, so hang in there. We've seen the Blue Jays mount some big rallies. Wells still looking for the win, obviously. Would like to have had the shutout too, but he'll wait. Kelly knows you're not going to win them all. Here at home, they've come pretty close to it. So we go to the 9th inning. Carter has seen his tie for the lead in homers disappear. Carter bunting, a good one. Leach lets it go, and it is a base hit. Carter is 4 for 5. 2 doubles, 2 singles.
Kind of unusual for a guy who's in a home run streak like Joe Carter, but the Twins close within 3 runs. Carter says, let me get on base. Maybe he has trouble hitting the underhand deliveries of Leach, so he just drops one down.
Couldn't have rolled it out any better than that. Wow.
Just kept going. Carter's on. Leach. That submarine delivery to Kelly Gruber, who's 0 for 3 and a walk tonight. Gruber obviously still hurting. You see the wrap on that hand for the thumb and the index finger, which are both hurt. Playing probably about 85% right now. Leach over to first. Not a big lead for Carter. Jerry Leach, 37 years old. Very good middleman. Primarily because of this delivery that he comes in with to the right-handed hitters. Carter goes. Hit and run was on. Right center field. Puckett and Mack. Kirby's got it. Trying for the double play. Got it.
Boy, Kirby unleashed the cannon. I think they deked Joe Carter at second base. I don't know if he looked over his shoulder on the hit and run, and the shortstop and second baseman deked Joe Carter right out on that play.
It wasn't for a lack of effort trying to get back into the bag, I'll tell you. So Carter on the hit and run got caught at second base, and it is a double play hit into by Kelly Gruber. And the good throw made by Kirby Puckett right on the line onto the bag. So there are 2 down. Mullenix, who's now the designated hitter, struck out his first time up He came on for Tabler to pinch hit in the 7th inning. 5-2 lead Blue Jays, out hitting the Twins 13-7. Little off that pitch. Deep second base. Knobloch makes the play. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left on. One more chance for the Minnesota Twins. Bottom of the 9th coming. From the Dome in Minneapolis has been a 5-2 lead with the Toronto outfielders. Look at the numbers. 10 for 14, 3 runs, 3 RBIs, and 5 extra base hits. That with the pitching of David Wells, who's now out of the game, has put them on top. Minnesota, take a look. Lost only once in their last 35 games to a left-handed starter. But they've got to score here or they're going to make that 2. Tom Henke is on in relief. And that's a leadoff base hit for Shane Mack. Played in by Glenn Allen Hill. So the Terminators greeting with a hard single to left field.
Tom Henke 12 for 12 in save opportunities. Picked up his 12th save on Monday by picking off Alex Cole of the Cleveland Indians to end the game. 10.4 strikeouts for 9 innings over his career. That's #1 in baseball history of guys that have thrown 500+ innings. A couple of guys, Rob Dibble and Brian Harvey, ahead of that, but they haven't thrown 500 innings yet.
Now Larkin, who singled in the 5th. 8 hits now, and that one will be fouled off.
As good a hitting team as the Twins are, over the last 2 years, they have only come from behind after trailing by 8 innings 3 times in 2 full years. So this has not been a great comeback team, but they do have the arsenal. They've got guys over on the bench like Randy Bush, Ken Herbeck, if he's available tonight.
They're used to doing it the other way, as we mentioned earlier, getting on top and then preserving a lead. Oh, Kelly hoping it's the other way around here tonight. A 5-2 lead, bottom of the 9th inning. And Larkin will take Henke's delivery inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Larkin is 0 for 6 lifetime against Henke. Henke out for a month with a groin pull. That's why the save numbers are down for him. 1-1 delivery, off speed pitch, misses down low, 2-1.
Henke basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Great fastball, great forkball. Doesn't play with the slider or the curveball very much.
And the fans trying to urge them on here. Wells waiting, hoping for the win after 8 strong innings. Gave up the 2 runs on 7 hits. That one towards second base. Race to the bag. Alomar will get there and makes the play himself. Moving down to second base is Mack with 1 out. Don't see that play very often. Unassisted second baseman at first.
Well, Robbie Alomar has such great quickness. You see Olerud gets a little betwixt in between. Mack holds up. Robbie sees the confusion. He just says, hey, I'll take it myself. Don't have to make a throw. Get the sure out with a 3-run lead.
Henke's got 1 away with a runner at second base. Leyes is out and Al Newman will come on to pinch hit.
Tom Kelly's got a few weapons to choose from. Mike Pagliarulo, who had a big home run last night. Ken Herbeck, who has a bad shoulder, although he did take batting practice. Randy Bush, a good left-handed hitter. Those would be the guys who most likely would be called upon besides Al Newman, who's coming on now.
Newman, the pinch hitter, 1 for 6 lifetime against Henke. 1 down. Jays 2 outs away from picking up what could be their 6th win in 7 games.
One of the reasons you use Newman right here, normally he's a good on-base man. You see the 291%, not all that hot. But right now, Tom Kelly needs a guy to get on base to bring the tying run to the plate.
Newman would love a walk right here if he can get it. He starts it out the right way. 2 balls and no strikes.
I don't think you can bet the farm that Al Newman's going to take a pitch right here. Going to make Hinkie throw at least 1 strike in this situation. The Twins down by 3. If he doesn't, Tom Kelly may be waiting for him at the top of the dugout.
8 strikeouts, 13 walks for the switch hitter. Hinkie's delivery to him. He tried to crouch down and shorten up on that strike zone, but Hinkie got it in. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out. Mack on at second base. Kelly doing a little pacing. Senses an opportunity here in the 9th inning after they got the 2-run homer by Chili Davis in the 8th.
Calm demeanor, thinking, well, I'm still not facing the tying run. I'll get excited if a man gets on base in this situation. I have to face somebody like Randy Bush, who's just moved out to the on-deck circle.
Got the man in there he wants in Hinkie. Foul back, and Hinkie takes the count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's Bush waiting on deck. Twins have scored 20 runs this season in the 9th inning. They've been outscored 30-20 in the 9th. Their big innings are at the beginning. Last 3 innings, not where they generally get runs. Check swing fouled off by Newman. Holds the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Shane Mack's on at second base. With the Blue Jays leading it 5-2. Minnesota won last night. 3-game series that will have game 3 played here tomorrow night. Mack with a lead. 2-2 delivery. Newman, left field. Glenn Allen Hill. And there are 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. So the Twins down to their final out. They send Randy Bush up. Pinch hit for Greg Gagne. They got to get 1 more on base, though, as Dave said, before they get that potential tying run to the plate. Bush is 3 for 15 against Hinkie. Again, he just wants to get on base. See whether or not he will take the first pitch from Hinkie. Two down. Bush takes it outside. Ball 1. Gladden, leadoff batter, hoping for the chance on deck. Hinkie's 1-0 pitch. That should be the ball game. Alomar backing up. Second baseman's under it, and that's it. Hinkie comes on to get the save, and Toronto comes away with a 5-2 win. With Wells 9-4, Guthrie the loser 5-4. Hinkie's 13 for 13 in saves. Chili Davis did have his 18th home run to take over the lead in the league.
With the old Blue Jays, if they had 6 extra base hits, 3 of them would be home runs. The new Jays hit them in the gaps, run like the Dickens, get the great pitching out of guys like David Wells. And Steve Palermo tells Cito Gaston, well, you broke the winning streak here.
So the Twins are now 24-4 in that stretch, while Toronto's 6 out of their last 7. For Dave Campbell and all of our crew, this is Gary Thorne. Thanks for joining us. John, back to you.